Hey guys, very good evening. Today we are here for the discussion of Exim Bank, when it was established, what are the objectives of Exim Bank, and what are the functions of Exim Bank. We'll learn it in a detailed manner. First of all, when the Exim Bank was established, the Exim Bank was established on 1st January of 1982. So, what is the abbreviation of the Exim Bank? It's simple: Export Import Bank of India. Export Import Bank of India. Okay. Now the question comes, what is the purpose of setting up Export Import Bank of India? The purpose is very simple: to serve the exporters as well as importers who are exporting and importing the things from India. Okay. So it was initially set up under the Act of Parliament, that is Exim Bank Act of Parliament, and it took over two functions from the IDBI. Earlier, IDBI was taking that function. Now the functions of IDBI has been taken over by the Exim Bank. So what are those two functions which has been taken over by Exim Bank from the IDBI? The two functions are, one is international function, international financial function, and one more is international wing and financial wing. Okay, international wing and financial wing of the IDBI has been taken over by the Exim Bank. Now you may be asking why this Exim Bank was set up. As I said, one is to facilitate the international trade. Facilitate the international trade. When I speak about facilitating the international trade, I am stressing on exporting. I am not stressing on importing. Okay. So Exim Bank mainly provides the assistance on exporting. Why? Because Exim Bank or whatever the agencies which are providing the finance for the exporting purpose, the main intention behind providing the finance is just to promote the exports. Why the exports are promoted, that you are knowing. Exports brings the money to the country. Export brings capital inflows to the country, or cash inflows to the country. The cash inflows so happened out of exports definitely leads in favorable balance of payments. For this purpose, always Indian government, or may it be the other governments as well, all government concerns to have more exports rather than imports. Now with regarding exporting itself, one is it is going to assist, one is it is going to provide the consultancy services regarding exports, and one more is it is going to help you out in export. Okay, one is assisting exports, providing consultancy services with regard to exports, and assisting in exporting, and as well as some of the things which are related to the imports also the Exim Bank does. Okay, I'm not saying that Exim Bank avoids the importing. No, not like that. Importing also needed, but not to the maximum extent. Okay, not to the maximum extent. More priority is given to the exporting rather than importing. Now if I speak about important objectives of Exim Bank, I can say about the setting up of the national foreign trade policy. Sir, who is going to set up the national foreign trade policy? Government. Government in assistance with Exim Bank. Okay, so government takes over the opinions of all the stakeholders, may it be the Exim Bank, may it be the commercial banks. So in setting over the national foreign trade policy, it has to ask various categories of agencies. It's not like blindly setting the foreign trade policy. It will ask the Exim Bank, Export Import Bank. It will take the opinions of various sectors and it will frame the policies. So what is foreign trade policy all about? Okay, in this year, see, foreign trade policy is framed by the Indian government every 5 years. Okay, every 5 years foreign trade policy will change. Okay, so when it comes to the foreign trade policy, what it comprises of, what is the export growth that we are looking at? Okay, what is the growth in the export that we are looking at? We are fixing a standard. We are fixing a standard by having a export trade policy, export in national foreign trade policy. Okay, and when it comes to the finances also, finances is a very difficult task, as we are knowing. Finances is a very difficult task for getting. Okay, so when it comes to the finance, exporters suffer a lot. Why? Because they are not getting enough adequate finance from the various sources. So that's why somewhere I can feel like, okay, exports are not promoted to the maximum extent. So to promote the export to the maximum extent, definitely Exim Bank is not only the source, because for all the promoters or for all the exporters, Exim Bank only cannot provide the finance, okay, but it can arrange the finance, okay, it can arrange the finance. Exim Bank, being a establishment, being a setup, it cannot serve the all the needs of finance which is required by the all the exporters, but it can arrange for the finance. It can provide you the solutions from where you can bring the finance, from what are the sources you can bring the finance. Definitely it's not possible for one bank to get the finance from or give the finance for all the exporters. They are not having that much adequate capital, or they are not having that much adequate resources to give the finance to the all the exporters in order to promote the exports. However, they are going to give you the assistance in getting the solution for how to arrange the finance from the various sources, because they are having a lot of contacts, and by having that contacts, definitely they are going to arrange you for the finance. I'm not saying that they are going to give from their pocket, definitely they are going to arrange for the finance. Next, there may be a lot of problems with regarding to the Indian exporting. Sir, what are the problems? See, what happens is that the persons who are not having a knowledge of exporting are taking a help of export houses. Okay, supposing that um, I'm an exporter who is residing in Mumbai, or who is residing in any place of India. I don't know how to export. Okay, so that's why I take the help of exporting house, and I'll export that goods to the other country. Now, what is the disadvantage of taking a help of export house is that they indulge, or they include hidden commissions and all. Okay, hidden commissions and all. They are like agents who are helping you out in exporting the goods to the other country. But the thing is that they indulge hidden goods and this hidden commission, and this is one of the problem. This is one of the problem what the exporter faces. Okay, they are taking the help of exporting house. They are exporting, or they are giving the goods to the exporting house, and exporting house then exports it to the other country. Instead of that, if exporter directly exports it to the country of importer, definitely you would have made the lot of profit instead of sending it to the exporting house. If he had made the direct export, then definitely you would have made the lot of amount of profit. But the thing is that without lack of knowledge, or with having lack of knowledge, he was not able to do so, because he is not knowing what is the export procedure. He is not knowing what is the processes that has to be followed in the customs department. He is not knowing what is the processes that has to be followed in the shipment department. So all these problems are having, but the problems are answered by whom? Exim Bank. So in order to look after the interest of the exporter, definitely Exim Bank helps you in a lot of ways. Next, when it comes to the granting of loans, as I said, import bank gives you the lot of loans in order to import the raw materials for the purpose of exports. Okay, it all starts from the importing of the raw material. Okay, as I said, duty drawback I have said, and other concessional benefits or subsidiary benefits whatever given by the agencies. Okay, and loans and advances which are given by the export import bank as well will be qualified under the category of this itself. Okay, the thing is that, okay, I want to have the money for the purpose of exporting the goods. That may be the pre-shipment credit, that may be the post-shipment credit, which are all given by whom? Which are all given by the Exim Bank. If at all it is not able to provide all such sums of credit, definitely it will make an arrangement for getting a or giving you the credit from the other sources. At least it will show the way. If they are not having a way, at least they will show the way. Okay, this way you have to travel, or in this path you have to travel. Okay, next, undertaking the finance research and surveys and techno-economic studies. Sir, why the research is to be done, and why we need to be keeping updated ourselves? Suppose what happens is that if we are not making a research, and if investor is blind about where to invest, or if the exporter is very blind about where to export, definitely the things may go wrong. Okay, so while exporting the goods, he has to look after what is the background of that particular country he is going to export, and what is the political situation, what is the economic situation, and after knowing that only, what is the situation of the importer who is going to who is going to import the goods. So these are all the things that has to be considered into detail while exporting the goods. If at all these things are not at all considered, definitely exporter is going to be face the difficulties when exporting. So that's why financing and researching is very much important, where the conditions are very very favorable, where the conditions are not favorable. So conducting of the surveys is very important in order to have a economic criteria, or economic in order to know the economic conditions of the various countries. Because if you are exporting the goods to the very very poor countries, poorest of worst countries, definitely you cannot expect the money. So in such a case, difficulty arises for the exporter, because he is giving the money from all his pocket, and ultimately he end up in getting nothing. Then definitely he is going to face the problem. So that's why a lot of research has to be conducted, a lot of things has to be conducted while exporting the goods, and providing a financial assistance to the medium and long term for the exporters as well as importers. Sir, why importers are given with the credit? You are saying that import has to be shrinkened, or import has to be avoided. Why? Because more imports create the unfavorable balance of payment. Okay, unfavorable situation of balance of payment. I am speaking about imports that has been done for the purpose of exports. Okay, imports that has been done for the purpose of exports, I am going to concern about. Sir, what are the imports that has been going to be done for the purpose of exports? Okay, import of raw material, import of technical know-hows, whatever you are going to do for the purpose of exporting the goods to the other country. For this, financial assistance will be given. Maybe for the medium term financial assistance, maybe the long term financial assistance will be given to you guys when you are going to import or export such goods. Okay, next, promoting foreign trade in India. Definitely promoting foreign trade in India. We are having a lot of schemes like make in India, invest in India, FDI in India, like, right? So definitely, when the capital flows comes into the Indian market, definitely the Indian market shines. Okay, Indian market shines. So that's why we want to have a more and more capital investment. We want to have a more and more capital inflows coming into the country. Capital inflows may be coming into the country because of two reasons. One is because of the exports. I'm going to export the goods to the other country, and importer gives the money for me, and capital comes in, or the amount of money comes in. It may also happen because of the foreign direct investments. So all the concern is to get the money to the Indian country and to develop. Okay, so promoting the foreign trade of India is possible because of the Exim Bank and development of mutually beneficial relationship with international financial community. So if I speak about international financial community, obviously I can speak about World Trade Organization, WTO. I can speak about IMF. I can speak about ID, IDA, International Developmental Association. Okay, so these are all the international financial communities. Okay, IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Trade Organization, International Developmental Organization or Authority, which are giving you the finance. So now coordination between all these things should be required. Okay, coordination between all these things should be required. Coordination between Exim Bank and WTO is required. Coordination between ID and Exim Bank is required. Coordination between International Monetary Fund and Exim Bank is required. Why? Because all the works, or all the objective of all these entities are to provide the finance and to encourage the foreign trades. Okay, encourage the trades and services. So that's why if these entities are working by joining hands together, that will be obviously leading to the fruitful results. Okay, so that is the reason behind establishing relationship with the international finance community. Next, when it comes to the anticipating and absorbing new development in banking, export financing and information technology, obviously we are going to be keeping ourselves updated with the technology, updated with the finance, updated with the kind of things like uh, updated with all the things, right? So for that purpose as well, we are going to have a Exim Bank. to be responsive to export problems of Indian exporters and pursuing public policy resolutions. Okay, as I told, it responds to the problems of Indian exporters. So, what are the problems of Indian exporters? If I want to say, definitely they are not knowing, they are not having adequate knowledge about the exporting of the things. They are not knowing how to export the goods, how to go through the procedures of exporting. So, in order to while exporters are having these problems, definitely who is going to assist? Exim Bank is going to assist. Okay. Now, let us look at what are the kinds of finances which are provided by the Export Import Bank. So, the kinds of finances which are provided by the Export Import Bank are credit for the export of Indian machinery and manufactured goods. Okay, so suppose if you are uh, exporting the machinery which is produced in India, it's like it's a very good sign, or it's a very good situation for the Indian country, right? Why? Because our goods, whatever produced in India, that is getting traded. Wow, right? So that's why credit is given to the exporters, particularly for the trading of Indian machinery and manufactured goods, and buyers credit to overseas entities for financing export of goods and services from India. Definitely project finance and trade finance. So if you are having a project, and if you are exporting the project, and if you are exporting the trade, in such cases also, obviously export finance will be given to you guys. Okay, now what are the functions of exim bank? What are the functions of exim bank? So this is very important. Let us understand the functions of exim bank. First function is lending programs. Okay, I can speak about, under lending programs, I can speak about lending plus assistance. Okay, lending plus assistance. Sir, what is lending? What is assistance? Lending means giving you the loans. Maybe the short term money, maybe the long term money. Okay, both medium term and long term credit will be given to you guys for the purpose of exporting. They want to promote the exports, more and more exports. Import only for the exporting purpose. If you are importing the goods, obviously they are going to give you the benefits. Okay, yeah, lending loans means providing you the loans plus as well as assistance. So what kind of assistance they are going to provide? So one is providing financial assistance to the exporters. How providing financial assistance to the exporters is possible? Because of, or possible in the way of, providing short term and long term, or short term, medium term and long term loans. Okay, short term, medium term and long term loans. And when it comes to the technology and consultancy services, we know that always we want to use the updated technology, and definitely updated technology are the things which you are which your products or which your company becomes more efficient and more productive. Okay, it's because of updated technology, and it's because of a um, because of the various things which are offered by the exim bank, your company becomes more productive and more efficient. Okay, now what kind of technology? Okay, updated technology from the foreign countries, if you want, that will be borrowed, or that can be borrowed, or that can be imported for the purpose of exports. And consultancy services, what kind of consultancy services? Consultancy services in the sense, I don't know how to export. In that case, I'll be given with the facilities, or I'll be given with the consultancy. I don't know from what source I can borrow the finance. Okay, in such a case, I can consult the exim bank, and I can get the knowledge about how can I borrow the finance or funds for the purpose of exports and all. So this is how definitely technology and consultancy services which are provided by the exim bank. And overseas investment financing, what is this overseas investment financing? Is that if you want to invest in overseas, suppose I want to I want to invest in a project of Japan. Wow, that's a very great idea, or that's very good sign for the Indian country. Okay, I want to invest in a project of Australia. Wow, overseas financing, overseas investment financing, definitely in the project of overseas. If you are investing, that overseas financing will be provided to you guys by the exim bank. If it is not possible to provide you the finance, obviously it will be given or it will be, they will be helping you in getting the finance by consulting some others. Okay, fine. Next, pre-shipment credit, and I have explained many things about pre-shipment. What is this pre-shipment credit? Obviously there are two kinds of things, right? One is pre-shipment and one more is post-shipment. Okay, before happening of the shipment, to export the goods, whatever the things you have spent, okay, to export the goods, whatever the things you have spent, that is called as pre-shipment expenses. And in order to spend that pre-shipment expenses, whatever the expenses you have spent, that will be recovered. How? By getting a pre-shipment credit. Sir, what are those expenses we are asking? Definitely manufacturing expenses, expenses spent on importing of the raw materials, and production expenses. All these expenses are what? Pre-shipment expenses. So in order to incur that pre-shipment expenses, I want to have some loan, I want to have some funds, and that funds can be borrowed out of pre-shipment credit. Overseas buyers credit scheme. Okay, so which is a scheme which is given to the overseas buyers. If at all somewhere in Australia somebody wants to buy the goods from India, in such a case the buyer of Australia may also get the finance from the overseas buying scheme, okay, from the Exim Bank. Okay, from the Exim Bank. Next, lines of credit offered to the foreign governments. If the foreign governments are in a difficult condition, or if the foreign governments are wants to export the goods from the Indian government, in such a case they are also offering the finance to the foreign government. I don't know to what extent it is realistic, but okay, fine. They are going to give the loans to the foreign governments in order to give the exports. Okay. Next, export bills rediscounting scheme. Okay, export bills rediscounting scheme. What is this export bills rediscounting scheme? Obviously, export bills rediscounting scheme means, suppose if you are having a bills receivable or export bills that can be discounted through the banker before the maturity date. Okay, before the maturity date. And obviously you have to pay the discounting charges. You will get the money, and later this banker will get the money from the importer. Okay, banker will get the money from the importer. Might be you might be giving certain expenses in the name of discounting charges, but in the earlier instance itself you are getting your money. So that's why export bills are discounted with the help of Exim Bank. Next, I can explain you guys about relending facility to the banks of overseas and refinance of export credit. Also, this is not very much important. Relending facility means giving a loans again and again for the purpose of exports, and refinance of export credit means giving credit for purpose of export. Okay, so very simple points. If you are having again confusion, you can consult me. Okay, next, it also gives the guarantees. So till now we have spoke about how it gives the finances and assistance. Okay, finances are given in the form of short term credit, medium term credit, and long term credit, and technology and consultancies are given, and overseas and investment finance is given, free shipment credit is given, overseas buyers credit scheme is there, lines of credit to the foreign government is provided, export bills rediscounting. What is this export bills rediscounting means? Suppose if you are having a bills receivable is what? And bill of exchange which guarantees the payment from the side of importer. Okay, importer. So importer will have the bills of payment. Okay, exporter will has the bill receivable, importer will have the bills payable. This is an asset and this is an liability. Exporter has to get the money, so that's why we call it as bills receivable. Importer has to pay the money, so that's why we call it as bills payable. Suppose think that importer said that I'll pay your money on July 2022, but exporter cannot wait till July 2022. He goes into the bank and he discounts this asset. Okay, he discounts this asset. So what is the money that has to be given by the importer? Let us consider 10,000 is the amount of money that has to be given by the importer. Now, since he discounts the bill without waiting for July 2022, he gets the money from banker to an extent of 9,000. Sir, where the 1,000 went? He's supposed to get 10,000, right? Yes, he's supposed to get 10,000, but he gets only 9,000. 1,000 went in the name of discounting charges. Why banks discounts the bill? Bank discounts the bill since they can collect or they can earn the income in the name of discounting charges. Okay, so such a kind of facilities, export bills rediscounted by the what? Exim Bank. Okay, relending facility to banks overseas will be provided by the Exim Bank, and refinance of export credit is provided by the Exim Bank as well. Now, guarantee. What is this guarantee? Okay, as I said in the previous class itself, I have said about letter of credit, right? What is letter of credit? Letter of credit is instrument that is guaranteeing the export. Okay, letter of credit is an instrument that is guaranteeing the export. Now, what happens out of this letter of credit? What happens out of this letter of credit? There will be a person called exporter. So this is person called importer, and this is person called exporter. Okay, importer gets a guarantee as well as exporter will get the guarantee. Who is giving that guarantee about the payment? Either the commercial bank or the exim bank. Okay, either the commercial bank or the exim bank. So importer has to pay the money to the exporter, and exporter has to deliver the goods to the importer. In both the cases, there will be a trust issues. Importer thinks, what if after giving the money, what if exporter will not send the goods? Exporter thinks, what if after sending the goods, if at all importer is not paying the money? Okay, so these kind of dilemmas happens. So in order to avoid these dilemmas, banks will assure the guarantee, or banks will give the kind of guarantee that for the payments which is done by the importer and exporters, or the for the services which is given by the importer and exporter, we give the guarantee. Okay, we give the guarantee. So guarantee has to be given in the form of there will be an advance payment guarantee, there will be a performance guarantee, there will be a retention guarantee. Sir, what is this advance payment guarantee? As I said, sometimes what they are doing is that if the imports done is to an extent of 10,000 and advance given is only 5,000, and after giving the advance, what about 5,000, rest of 5,000? Okay, that guarantee will be given by the exim bank. So guarantee will be given by the exim bank. So guarantee will be given for the other projects like turnkey projects as well. Sir, what is this turnkey projects? Suppose think that turnkey project is a project. Suppose think that I'm an exporter and the other country's person is an importer. I said that I'll prepare you one project of metro railway, and after the completion of the product, I'll hand over the key. Who has given the service? The service has given the exporter. What kind of service? Building a metro. After completion of all the things, okay, importer is given with the key. Okay, that he can orient, or he can have the services of metro train or metro railway. Everything is set up by whom? Exporter. And finally key is hand over to the importer. So that's why we call it as turnkey projects. Now exporter done all his services. Now after getting a services, what importer says, no, I'm not paying you the money for the services rendered. At that time, who is responsible? So that's why, in order to avoid such dilemmas, for securing the payment from the side of importer as well as exporter, who will deal in between? The banks, or the commercial banks and the exim banks will deal in between. Okay, so they are providing you the guarantees that exporter, you can give the services without worrying. We are there, we are assuring the money from the importers. Okay, so that's why we call it as one of the function of a export bank is giving a guarantee. Okay, next, advisory services. What kind of advisory services? This has been already said you for you guys, advising small scale manufacturers on export markets. Okay, these small scale manufacturers like cashew industries, nowadays you are knowing it's the advent of cashew industries are going global. They are not only serving the local market, they are going global. But the thing is that many of the cashew industries owners, they are not knowing how the export procedures will be. Okay, what has to be followed in order to export the goods, or what procedures that has to be followed in order to export the goods. These things are not known by the industry owners, and that there the things becomes difficult. Without having a knowledge, if they are going for the exporting of the goods, definitely it will be awkward moment for them. So to avoid these things, who will going to advise you, who will going to orient you? Exim banks are going to orient you, working with the Indian companies for designing the financial package of joint ventures. So supposing that there will be a hero company which is from India, and there will be a Honda company which is from um, other country. I don't know exactly from where it is located. Okay, Honda company. Now they are going to venture jointly, and they want to become Hero Honda. Now everything has to be redesigned. Okay, they want to redesign everything. What they want to redesign, their financial structure has to be redesigned. Okay, in the sense, Hero also has to invest, Honda has to also invest, and combiningly they have to invest the capital, combiningly they have to invest on equipments, machineries and all, combiningly they have to produce the goods. Okay, so working with the Indian companies in designing the financial packages for joint ventures will be advised by whom? Exim Bank. Okay, Hero is not knowing how to operate and how to invest. That advises, for example, I'm saying it's not a reality. For example, I'm saying, okay, now advices will be provided by the Exim Bank, advising Indian companies in executing contract abroad by favorable overseas financing. Okay, I want to set up a project in Japan, I don't know how to set up that. I want to set up a project in Australia, I don't know how to set up that. Now who will advise me in that matters? Exim Bank will be advising me in that matters. Okay, next is all about providing access to euro financing sources and global credit sources of Indian companies engaged in exports. Definitely, when you are going global, you want to trade in foreign exchange currencies and all. Okay, you want to trade in a foreign exchange currencies and all. You want to sometimes give the money in a foreign exchanges. So in such a case, the advisors and help will be provided in the case of providing foreign exchanges and controlling foreign exchange all over the world. Okay, next, it's also said that designing. What kind of design? Okay, so designing and advising and designing the packages. Okay, advising and designing the packages for export oriented industries. Sir, what is packaging? You might be knowing the packaging. Just a minute, I'll be setting up the issues. Okay, you might be knowing what is packaging. What is packaging? Packaging means how you are going to market your product. Okay, in the sense, how you are package your goods, how you are packing your goods, and how you are marketing your products. See, packaging differs from the global economy or global country. Packaging differs from the domestic orientation to the global orientation. For serving the global countries, the packaging system will be very new or very formal. Okay, I can say that they are taking more care of the export quality. Okay, export quality is given more importance. Why? Because we should not receive any complaint from the exporters. Okay, so that's why Indian quality or in quality which is preferred by Indian quality which is preferred inside the domestic area is something different, export quality is something different. So packages should be different. There should not be any spoilage, there should not be any scope for the goods getting violated. Okay, so for that purpose package should be done in a very careful manner, and it should be attractive. So that's why export packaging should be in a various way, in a different way. Okay, let's next go for the promotional activities. Sir, what are the promotional activities? Undertaking financing research. So as I said, financing research is one more important criteria which the exim bank has to go by, because how to understand the foreign markets. Okay, what is the taste and preferences of a foreign customers, and if I export or if I invest in a foreign market, what happens, and in which market I have to import or export, from which market I have to import, if I export in or if I invest in which market, it will be beneficial for me. For all knowing this, definitely I have to conduct the research. Okay, I have to conduct the research. For that purpose research is needed, and providing technical and administrative services. Many of the times we are lack of technology, we are in a lack of technology, we are not knowing updated technology. Somewhere around the line, when other countries are following 4G, we will be in a technology of 3G. Okay, but when we are going to be getting updated by the technology, when we are having someone to speak about, or when we are having someone to tell about, okay, what is the advantage technology you can use about, or what is the advantageous technology that can be used in production purpose. So if there is somebody's friend, somebody to tell me that, or if some friend is there me for tell me that, definitely I'll be going to be produce the goods in an efficient manner. Okay, so that advantage or that assistance will be provided by whom? Exim bank. Okay, next, planning, promoting, developing, and financing export oriented organizations. As I said, the main aim of the exim bank is to promote the exports. Okay, so that they will give the more subsidies, they are giving more encouragement for you to promote the goods, for export the goods. So they are very happy if somebody is going to export. Okay, if somebody is turning out their market from the domestic market to international market, if they are going international, definitely exim banks or the central government feels takes the opportunity to encourage you guys, and they are going to assist you in many manners. Okay, why? Because it generate the inflow of the capital or inflow of the cash to the Indian country. So that's why exports are given more important, and collecting and disseminating market and credit information with regard to the world trade. Okay, what is happening in the world market? Okay, suppose if I speak about Ukraine, what is happening? Okay, the information will be given to the exporters. Okay, can you import the goods to the countries like Ukraine? Can you import the goods like countries like Sri Lanka? Because both are facing various kind of issues. One is facing world war, one is facing war, and one is facing Sri Lankan government is facing some kind of things. Okay, some kind of inflations kind of things. Okay, so that's why in each and every country there will be problems. So for setting for clearing that problems, or by for informing about that problems, definitely what has to be done? What has to be done? You have to take the assistance of exim bank, and exim bank assists you in getting the things, or in getting the disseminating the market information from the worldwide. Okay, so I hope that this has been understood by you guys, and if at all you need any kind of assistance, please contact me. Okay.